Kaylee, I just got off the phone with President Trump. We have a big scoop. Pam Bondi will soon leave her job as the Attorney General. She is going to get a different job within the administration. It doesn't sound like there is any bad blood between her and President Trump.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for choosing to hang out with your host, the Conservative Bird, and me, Double D, and you're on the Brick Road Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. We really do appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out. Also, if you could beforehand, please make sure to hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, and smash that notification. It's a quick, easy, and free way to help the channel grow as big as possible. He finally did it, Double D. This is something I've been asking for at least the past 2 or 3 months. I don't know how long. He finally got rid of Pam Bondi as the Attorney General.
I gotta be honest, Bert, I don't really remember you ever being in favor of Pam Bondi to begin with, honestly.
I never really was. I was never in favor of Kristi Noem. I was just hoping that these dumb broads would do the best job as possible, but obviously they can't. So obviously they got to go.
Yeah, and the Kristi Noem thing, dude, that shit got Jerry Springer quick, didn't it, with her husband?
Oh, dude, that is insane.
We're not going to talk about it, but damn,
we should have talked about that, actually, because that's insane, dude. What a weirdo.
Well, just so the audience knows, basically, Brian Noem was cross-dressing and sending videos of himself to a fetish porn site for cross-dressers. And I think that pretty much says it all right there. What else is there to know about that? But yeah, it just seems like the never-ending drama with the ladies of the Trump administration, man.
Yeah, it's like, dude, Trump. This, it's one thing, and this is one thing I got to be extremely critical of Trump. He doesn't understand that you don't put these women in positions of power like this. He made a mistake with Amy Coney Barrett the first time. He made a mistake with Kristi Noem. He made a mistake with Pam Bondi. The only one that I'm cool with is Caroline Leavitt at this point, because she's just a press secretary. She's a press secretary. She keeps it real and says it how it is. That's not a position of power. That's just going out and talking to the media. You kind of need a female for that to make things a little bit nicer.
And honestly, dude, she's not even that nice to him. She's pretty brutal.
She's not. But she has a pretty face, so it looks like it comes off nicer.
I mean, I love it. I ain't gonna lie, dude. I think I would. She is the only one, honestly, when it comes to. I mean, I don't have that much of a problem with Tulsi Gabbard.
I'm not very mad at Tulsi Gabbard, but I would much rather have a man of power in that position.
But I was going to say, I do kind of sometimes sense her a little bit. I don't want to say weakness, because she does have 22 years in the military, and she has been in Afghanistan and Iraq. So,
salute to her. Salute to her for sure.
But she tends to try. How do I put this? I'm trying to say it without criticizing her.
Here, she has a way. I'm going to Double D. I'll say it, okay? Females have a tendency to look at things from an emotional standpoint, so they don't make rational decisions. They make irrational decisions based on emotion, not based on facts. They're based on feelings, and that's the problem with women being in politics. This is the biggest problem with it is a majority of them are so emotional about things. Look at how Marjorie Taylor Greene started acting, right? Look how
she's very emotional. She's always been emotional, right from day one.
Right, like look how overly emotional Nancy Mace is, right? She's always me, and like whatever, cool. I don't care. But what I'm saying is, then you get men that are weak-minded men, and then they start acting like that, and that they think that that's fine because these women are in the same positions that they're in, and they're acting like that. So then you got men over here acting overly emotional and overly dramatic about stuff instead of just staying based in logic and fact. That's the one thing I like about Trump is he doesn't get over emotional about things especially when he's talking to the press or when he's trying to make a logical argument.
Well, he does have one emotion that he does exemplify for you, and that's his anger emotion.
Yeah,
His
well,
anger emotion does come
he
out.
knows
I
how to
mean,
talk shit. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when it comes to him addressing a situation in Congress or in the government is what I mean. Where these people get on the floor, you got Bernie Sanders yelling, going crazy. You got all these overly emotional men going crazy. Where usually when he's making his argument about something, he's just letting you know exactly the facts of what it is.
now Mark Wayne Mullen, he has the anger effect too. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
but
don't like that. I don't like that. I'm not mad at it, but I don't like it.
yeah, I don't know that I disagree with it, because
Hmm.
I understand that,
But it's
that
just,
machismo, I get it, but I don't, you know what? I'm not going to say I agree with it though, because Bernie Sanders actually made a comment to him and that guy from the union. I forgot that dude with the glasses. I
yeah,
forgot his name, but he made that comment. You are a United States senator.
yeah,
Act like it. Of
definitely.
course, this
I
is
agree.
course, this is coming from the most, emotionally corrupt.
Driven man, that's true.
I don't want to call him corrupt because Bernie's not really corrupt. He is
No,
kind of emotional though. He is
no,
emotional.
I wouldn't not call him corrupt. I mean,
Well, I don't have any proof of it.
RFK called him out at the hearing, and he didn't deny it. So, I mean,
That's true. That is true, and we did the episode on that. RFK did call him out for.
right. So
He definitely did.
we're
So
getting away from. Well, it kind of ties in. So, if you guys haven't
yeah, it all
seen,
ties back in. Yeah,
Trump finally got rid of Pam Bondi as attorney. I keep saying attorney, attorney
Attorney
general,
General.
attorney general, which is for me a breath of fresh air. This is something that I thought should have happened a while ago. Let's check the clip out though.
I personally thought he never should have went with her in the first
One
place,
thousand
but
percent.
anyway, let the clip roll, Bird.
Kaylee, I just got off the phone with President Trump. We have a big scoop. Pam Bondi will soon leave her job as the Attorney General. She is going to get a different job within the administration. It doesn't sound like there is any bad blood between her and President Trump, but it does seem like they want her to go and do something else.
Nothing
And
wrong
in
with
an
that.
interim role, she will be
I'm cool with it.
replaced by Todd Blanche, who is currently her deputy at the Justice Department. So it doesn't sound like Blanche is being elevated long term to the Attorney
Okay,
General.
I
There
was
might be
going to
somebody
ask
else that the
that.
president wants to go in there. But President Trump soon will announce to the entire world that it is the end of Pam Bondi's time as the Attorney General. He still thinks that she is a great person and that she did a good
No one
job.
denies that.
And he still wants her in the fold because she will still be an important part of the administration, he tells me, but no longer as the top law enforcement officer of the United States.
And rightfully so. And I like the fact that he's not just outright saying, "Yeah, Todd Blanche, you're the man." No, that's not what he's doing. Everybody is trying to paint the narrative about that, saying that Todd Blanche
Yeah,
was
no,
1,000% the man. No, he's just an intern.
it's temporary. It's
Yeah,
temporary.
it's basically like an internship, like kind of like when a head coach gets fired on like a basketball team, and one of the assistant coaches becomes the interim head coach for the rest of the season. Depending on how he does, he could get a job or he's done afterwards.
It's funny that you said that because Clay Travis and Buck Sexton said the same thing. That was exactly what they used. Was they were using basketball coaching as their example.
Right. That's exactly what it is.
The example that it's exactly. Now before we go any further with this, I also want to say I want to see Kash Patel replaced before the midterms too.
Yeah, I do too, and I don't like hate Cash, but I just feel like he's fumbled.
Incompetent.
I think he's fumbled one too many times. With the whole during the Charlie Kirk stuff. We got him, we don't got him, we got it. It just didn't make any sense to me. There's a couple other things I could think of. I can't think of really offhand. But nothing terrible.
Well, I can tell you what I don't like the most about Kash Patel, and then we'll go ahead and get back to Pam Bondi. I just don't like the fact that he's wishy-washy and he'll flip. He's trying to play both sides, dude, and it doesn't work in that position.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Your best bet is to play no sides and just follow the law.
No,
that's the best bet.
I don't disagree.
At least for a little while, is going to be Todd Blanche.
Okay.
Ducey,
Heard it here first.
That's rather big news, and I'm sure you don't have the answer to this, but there have been some rumored names to replace her. Did you happen to catch that?
So far, Todd Blanche.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We'd be remiss if we didn't ask. Okay.
Actually, can I say something, Bert, on that? Can I respond to that real quick?
Have you heard her name?
There was two names that were dropped today on the Clay and Buck show: Ron DeSantis and, of course, Ted Cruz.
Okay. What if Trump just came out of nowhere and said, "Oh, Matt Gaetz"?
Honestly, I'd be cool with Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, I like Matt
I'd be
Gaetz.
cool with that.
I don't know if he's coming.
He's
out.
hilarious.
I don't think he'll ever come back to
I don't think he
politics.
wants it.
No.
I don't think he wants anything to do with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think his record and his public life is too tarnished. But I'd actually be cool with it though, because
1,000%. I love Matt Gaetz.
He's a hard ass too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need a hard ass in the attorney general spot, but I just don't see that happening though.
All right, chat. Let us know down below in the comments who you guys would like to see replaced as the attorney general.
Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis would be cool because he's not going to be governor pretty soon.
He'll be done in November.
Yeah, November. Ron DeSantis would be a good one, and that could actually prep Ron DeSantis for a possible presidency run.
Yeah.
And
Ted
which he's already getting prepped.
A good one.
I'm just not a Ted Cruz guy. I just don't want.
I know you're not, but when it comes to the law, the man knows the law. You don't have to like him. As a matter of fact, I'd rather have somebody we don't like. Honestly.
Yeah.
I'd rather have someone who just wants to do the job, not somebody who's worried about being
that's
liked.
what I mean. I don't know if he's capable. I don't know. I just don't think he has that great of a track record. I could be wrong, but I'm not a big fan of him. I'd like to. I could see Ron DeSantis actually sounds like a really good one.
Well, that would be my first pick.
That would be my only pick out of almost anybody.
I mean, but will he do it is the question.
Right. Yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll see.
We're both from Florida, and Pam Bondi is an amazing attorney general.
No, she's not. That's a lie.
In Florida.
Yeah.
That's just a conservative female trying to look out for another conservative female. She's not a. No, she hasn't. That's a lie.
Attorney General of the United States.
I agree with you.
Credit for what she's been able.
She looked at the camera because she knew she was lying.
Yeah, fair enough, dude. Yeah, she knows. And she knew that all along too. But like you said,
they're cool with her, so they're not gonna out her.
She's just playing media politics. That's all.
Yep.
To do. There was a lot of pressure surrounding a whole host of different things coming into the president's second term in office, and I think she's been great. She's cracked down on crime. She's done an incredible job, in this role, and we love her in Florida.
I disagree.
And I think the United States owes her.
I don't agree.
I know the president would echo those sentiments.
Yes, well,
but she has to say that.
Blanche stepping in temporarily, we await to see if he gets the top job or if some of the other rumored names indeed get that. Breaking news here on Outnumbered. Now on to America Reports.
Yeah, so we'll see. So Pam Bondi replied on X. If you guys haven't seen it yet, we'll check it out right here.
Over the next month, I will be working tirelessly to transition the office of Attorney General to the amazing Todd Blanche before moving to an important private sector role I am thrilled about, and where I will continue fighting for President Trump and this administration. Leading President Trump's historic and highly successful efforts to make America safer and more secure has been the honor of a lifetime, and easily the most consequential first year of the Department of Justice in American history. Since February 2025, we have secured the lowest murder rate in 125 years.
That's a good
secured
thing.
First ever terrorism convictions against members of Antifa, shattered domestic and transnational gangs across the country, taken custody of more than 90 key cartel figures, and 124 favorable rulings at the Supreme Court. I remain eternally grateful for the trust that President Trump placed in me to make America safe again.
I mean, that's a nice statement. I mean, she's right. She's right about the crime thing. It's the lowest it's been since 1900.
For sure. No, it's cool, but we can't really credit that to her. It's the people that are enforcing it.
The policy.
That and also the people actually enforcing it on the streets.
Well, the fact that they're being allowed to enforce it helps a lot.
Right,
that helps a lot.
Where I think Pam Bondi did just a lot of nothing.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan. Like I said, I didn't really want.
They're moving her into a
to
private sector for a reason.
Place.
They're moving her to a private sector for a reason.
Well, Bird, just so you know, this is standard anyway.
Oh,
they
yeah.
always move them out right. They always do the switch up, the midterm switch up, and I just wouldn't have picked her in the first place.
No, not at all.
We should be switching up somebody else right now, not her.
No, yeah, 1000%. So President Trump responded on Truth Social.
All right, let's
Pam
hear what he got
Bondi
to say.
is a great American patriot and a loyal friend who faithfully served as my Attorney General over the past year. Pam did a tremendous job overseeing a massive crackdown in crime across our country, with murders plummeting to their lowest level since 1900. We love Pam, and she will be transitioning to a much-needed and important new job in the private sector
We love her
to be
a lot.
announced at a date in the near
We
future.
love her, baby.
And our Deputy Attorney General and a very talented and respected legal mind, Todd Blanche, will step in to serve as acting Attorney General. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump.
I mean,
here's another thing to consider. Bird. By doing this before the November midterms, with having a Republican majority Senate, it's going to be a lot easier to get approvals for the next guy too.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong about that. I think this is a huge dub for President Trump. This was something that was, to me, needed to be done. Should have never been done in the first place. Amy Coney Barrett should have never been put in place in the first place. Kristi Noem should have never been put in her place in the first place. It just all should have never been done in the first place. I get it. You want to try and give people an opportunity, give people a chance, but sometimes you just make wrong decisions. And
now, have they said anything about Tulsi Gabbard yet? Is she being removed yet or resigning?
No, they're just saying it's a possibility.
Well, I heard there's talk that she may resign.
Okay.
But
yeah, it's a possibility. I think it's more so because she went against the whole Iran stuff. I'm not 1,000% sure about it. We'll see, though. You know, regardless, for me, at the end of the day, I didn't vote for Tulsi Gabbard. I didn't vote for Pam Bondi. I didn't vote for Kristi Noem. I didn't vote for Kash Patel. I literally voted for Trump. And I just want him to make the best decisions as possible. I get it. We all make the wrong decisions at times. I'm hoping he's listening to his fan base and realizing that we don't want weak women. We want strong men in positions of power. And I'm ending it.
I mean, at this point, I think I could totally agree with that. I mean, there are strong females out there, but he just hasn't put any in a position of power that I can think of. No, and it's unfortunate. And honestly, I really can't think of any that would replace her effectively. You know where I stand. I think it's Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's Ron DeSantis. We'll see. Like I said, chat, let us know down in the comments below who you guys think it's going to be.
I'm going to say 90% myself, but I'm sure the audience will have their point of view too. But we all know where I stand. I'm 100% Ron DeSantis.
Oh, 1,000%. Well, I think on that note, we're going to end it. So, I want to just thank the one and only God, because without him, none of this is possible. I want to thank Double D. I want to thank my friends and family, and thank the audience.
And as always, Bert, thanks for making the show happen as you do every single time. Audience, without you, we're nobodies. You're the reason we're the reason. But most importantly, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior and my true King, Jesus Christ. And with all that, good night, y'all.
All right, everybody. Have a good one. Peace.